What's up, everyone? This is your boy Kanal, aka Black Man Travels. I'm here today with my boy Fearless Podcast. Welcome to the show. How you doing, man? The Lion's Den. What's
I heard
going
this
on,
was the
brother?
nerd edition, my brother.
Yes, the nerd.
So I got my nerd attire on, baby. I'm buttoned all up. I got my glasses. This is my nerd attire. You know, this
My
is for
apologies.
all the lanes.
My apologies to everyone. My monitor cracked. My lighting actually fell on my monitor. It cracked. So I have a new monitor screen, but I didn't have enough time to set it up. So hence why I'm not showing my face and my glasses, because I was more than prepared to geek up today. But today is the Revenge of the Nerds. It's our time. Revenge of the Nerds, man. It's our time to win and do our thing. So we're gonna actually have a great conversation today. And again, this has been an interesting, very interesting topic. Actually, about 8 years ago, this was a very mainstream topic about educated lames and how black men who were educated were considered lame at one point. Due to the fact, yeah. So due to the fact that we didn't have that swag, which people continue to throw out there, you don't have that look, or men with degrees, men who had a certain profession was not considered as desirable within the black community because they were easily thrown underneath the bus as educated lames. Now, Mr. Fearless, what's your thoughts about this whole educated lame topic?
Fast money leaves fast.
Yep.
And what happens is, the sad thing is that once women get to the point where all that fast money is gone, the guys, they get to the point where they get sick a little bit, ain't got no health care, no insurance, no 401k. They start looking for a brother who's educated. The ones they left behind, the guys who were studying hard to get to the degrees, now all of a sudden they become attractive. Crazy.
Yep. So today we have a very interesting topic, and the topic is educated lame, the last dating option for women, particularly black women, because again, the educated lame was started in the black community. I think we're the only race of people that actually look down upon our education folks. Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that as well.
Of course. We give accolades to rappers. You can sing, you can braid somebody's hair, you know how to do makeup, you know how to play sports, shoot a ball, you can do all of that. Oh, you are prized. You get an A in school, nobody wants to talk to you. You go to AP classes, don't want to be heard of. You in college and you're not in, whatever social studies they do on African American studies, nobody wants to be bothered with you. Yep. Nobody wants to talk to you. Nobody's going out with you. Nobody's chasing you until it's too late. And you've grown and made your self successful.
You know what the interesting thing I noticed, and particularly in the black community, is that we tend to celebrate our flaws more. Like, a guy coming out of jail, he gets more celebrated than someone who just recently graduated from college. Mm-hmm. That's something I've always noticed, that hey, Pookie's about to get out, they throw him a big party, versus someone who actually went to college and did all the right things, he's not celebrated. No. It's like, hey, you're supposed to do that, but then again, a guy that's living that fast life, doing all the fast things, he's celebrated more than the guy that actually took the time and followed the rules, did everything the right way. Why he's not celebrated? And worse off, he's literally called a educated lame, a lame, because he doesn't have that certain swag, that certain look, doesn't have those tattoos and everything else. So that's the thing we want to talk about, why is the educated lame, the so-called black man who is successful, who went and did the things the right way, why he's not getting the top pickings of women in the dating scene, and why are they considered as the last option for many women for marriage and everything else.
I think some of it has to do with their options. After they've exhausted and been played and hurt and put out the pasture, they'll just see the light. Then they see, it's like, oh, now I want this type of man. They want that person who can send their children to college, the person who can educate them, can feel safe and secure. Running a fast life is great. That money come in. But when 5-0 show up, the popo at the door, the scam gets conquered, it all falls to the wayside. None of those things really matter.
Yeah, yeah. So guys, we're gonna have fun. This can be this could be an interesting topic to many, or it could be a triggering topic to some. But we're actually gonna have this conversation. We're gonna open the line up, and definitely we want you guys to share your thoughts, your experiences with us, because we're really about to go in about this topic. And we also have some live videos that we're gonna do a live reaction to. We identified some videos from TikTok that how people feels about educated Black men and their thoughts about them, and we want we want to hear your thoughts about it. So the first thing first, what is a educated lame? What is an educated lame to you, Mr. Fearless?
An educated lame. It's a brother who has put his education and his career and things first and foremost to become successful. And by doing so, some things are eliminated. The partying may be eliminated. He may forego some of the flashy clothes and flashy things, for a certain period of time. He may forego, hey, I can't dress nice. I can't be here because some other things are taking priority. To me, that's the lame, the educated, who has put his career first and his education first and foremost. So I guess here, I don't hear you can also, I'm gonna read this. It seems the definition is a Black man who positioned himself above other members of the community for having achieved some level of academic or professional success, identified by a pompous attitude and exaggerated sense of self. I don't think that's the case. I think, what do they say? It's not bragging if you have it. So I think if you've gotten to the point where you have it, it's not bragging. And that's how it should be. And I grew up on both sides. So, we can talk about that, where I've gotten an opportunity to see both sides.
But that's the thing, is like the fact that, you could view a Black man who wants to have a high self-esteem about himself, that wants to, do well. You view him as a pompous, a person where he feels that he's not entitled to be a better version of himself. So it's just like, hey, go ahead and follow society standards in regards to what is a Black man is. But yet, if we decide to take a different path, becoming more successful, become a more righteous person, that looks down upon. So it's interesting when I saw that definition. I'm like, wow. So this is how they identify a Black man when he wants to be celebrated. But at the same time, Black women have all this Black excellence, Black girl power and all this stuff. But whenever a Black man does it, oh, he's being conceited. Why is that?
I don't know why that is, but it's a shame that our community vilifies any type of education. So for instance, if you talk proper, you're talking white. If you dress appropriately, or you think you're too good, you have a belt and you tuck your shirt in. The standards that we used to have were great. And so don't get mad, because what happens, you're in the corporate world. Once you start moving up the corporate ladder and you look around, there's certain women and certain things you just can't take to outings. You don't want somebody with some green hair and long fingernails, because your image is on the line. So when those guys look around and you see, man, why is that guy, he's making $200K in IT, or he's this VP, and he married to a white woman, it's because that's the only people that would understand him when he got to that place. Y'all left him behind and they hung on.
Yeah. And this is another definition based on relationship. In a relationship, an educated lame thinks of themselves as a prize and will often possess a long list of flawless requirements that further cement their image as a thinking man. So even when a man wants to consider himself very highly of himself, he can't do that.
That's the craziest thing, because women do it all the time. When a girl who is, and I don't want to judge women, but I'm going to judge them. When a girl is a 3 and she can say she a 10, or she weighed 310 and she still thinks she a 10, that seems to be a bloated self-esteem issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have Passport Blueprint on the back side. I'm gonna bring him up and ask him, what's his thought on the educated lame question. Then we're gonna move on to number 2. Passport Blueprint, how you doing, man?
Yeah, just for the record, this is the artist formerly known as the Global Passport Crew.
All right. What's going on, man?
What's going on? It says a lot of bad things about us when we look at our guys being, educated, that we're the lame, we're the second option, and that we celebrate those that are bad rather than celebrate those that are good, especially, the history of our Black culture, after dealing with slavery and the negative viewpoint of other races towards us. Here we're striving and, trying to be an equal, but yet still it's only our people that always bring us down. The crab in the barrel mentality, it's just sad. And we consistently bring ourselves down. Lame guys shouldn't be the last option. We should be the first option.
Mm-hmm.
If we're trying to get out the hood, this is the option to do it. Right
Any
now,
other culture, go ahead. Yeah, any other culture is not like that.
No.
We make excuses, man. We are the most excuse-ridden people there are. I've heard that people say like the SATs are racially biased.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, but if it's racially biased,
Why?
if you've been
Asian.
over here and you spoke English, how can somebody from India who doesn't speak English come over here and master it? How is it that when I look at the spelling bee champions for the last 10 years, I think there's one person of color. Everybody else is like from Indian, Pakistan, Bangladesh, where their native language may not be English, but they have come over here and mastered it. You can't tell me that is some kind of social bias or, something like that is biased towards you. You just aren't willing to learn. When other people are learning, you out playing basketball. When they hitting the books, you listen to rap music. It makes a difference.
You got to dedicate yourself to the cause in order to be successful. That means sacrifice. You can't do the things like everybody else is doing. And a lot of us don't want to make that commitment.
Well, guys, I do have a list of videos that we're going to do a live reaction. Hey, Passport Blueprint, your new name. Do you want to stay on with us or you want to drop off?
I'm more than happy to.
All right, cool. We're going to, again, we want to open the line up, make this more of a group conversation type of thing. Because, again, we would like to hear your thoughts and experience as well. Like, for me, I consider myself a educated lame. I never was the guy that had swag. I was never the guy that was a street kid, who had all the girls in high school, whatever. No, I never had that. I was a weird kid. I was a skater. I listened to rock music. Again, I was not your typical Black kid, but also too, I never had the inches to do the typical Black things. Like even now, I don't know how to play tongue. I don't know how to play spades.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't. It's just like, but at the same time, man, it doesn't make me less Black. It's just I just have other interests. I love anime. So there's things that I like to do that most people may consider weird. However, I've always enjoyed that. And I've always had an open mind and seeing the world and doing different things. And that's why I think, I have this love to travel the world because I never had that one block mentality. Mm-hmm. So am I a educated lame? Yes, I am. I'm proud of it. But also too, I'm a very successful man. I'm a very proudful man. And I've contributed to the community, but at the same time, I noticed that our community do not embrace us. It is what it is. They want to cheer for the fuck boys, give the fuck boys so many opportunities. The players, the pimps, the thugs. I mean, at one point there was this whole saying about corporate thug. That you remember that corporate thug bullshit they used to promote? Nigga with the braids and the corporate suit. Like, what the fuck is that?
Dreads, and all that.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, man, it's interesting that how the bad boys always get a lot of love in the Black community versus the brother that actually took the time to go to school to learn how to speak English properly, to actually do better things. He's not celebrated. But then again, the Black community could turn around and celebrate the Black woman with Black Girl Rock and all this stuff, whatever. But then again, we don't take the time to celebrate our Black boys. And I think that's something that's lacking within our community. We're not celebrating our Black boys to be successful, to be leaders. We just want them just to work and grind and, you know, be a thug and this and that, whatever. But we're not promoting all the positive things. And with that being,
is completely different than yours.
Yeah,
I grew up straight in the hood. Every street thing you could do, we did. Not a lame, always involved in sports. State wrestling champion, state football champion, played football in college, pledged to fraternity. So I was always in that crowd, always in the popular crowd. The thing was, my mom said, you can't bring a C home to this house. We not average in this house. A C got your ass whooped. So that didn't happen. So I had to play a dual thing. So it was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm cool. Everybody thought I'm cool, but I still busted them grades in. And it really didn't become a separation until they started having AP classes. So then they're like, oh man, you in an AB class? You know, I just wasn't in the classes they were in. And so nobody could figure it out. But I started to see, man, how your friends go to the wayside, how they don't really have the opportunities anymore. Even when I went to college, the things that they were majoring in, the brothers in the frats and the brothers on football team, the things they were majoring in was entirely different. You could see, and the opportunity was there. The tutoring was there. Everything that you wanted was provided for you, but they just didn't use their time wisely. So they in the library doing whatever, doing fuck shit. I'm like, look, I'm gonna use this because when I get finished with this, I'm gonna go fuck some shit. But all my homework gonna be done in this library session with this free tutor that they giving me. I'm gonna hit somebody after, or you know, Friday night I can step with y'all. I'm good. All my stuff is done. And they couldn't see the separation of that. They thought because I could play the dual role was fine, but then you start to see the jobs that they go into, the careers that they go into, nothing. Can't level up. And the great thing about, at least where I was at, once you got to a certain level, the community protected you in this sense. It's like, well, man, he might be the only one that can make it out. You know, leave him alone. And then they start shunning you. Like, nah, you can't do this. You know, nah, we can't even. They start protecting you where they don't even want you to do this because they know in their heart they're going to be failures. And their only success is to be able to see somebody else who made it. You're like, man, yeah, I knew him. He made it out. But I seen it. I seen where girls wouldn't date the dudes, and I see them now, you know, especially those you guys who got Facebook. I got Facebook just to laugh at the chunky chicks who tried to play me. And I'm like, bruh, you know, you done gained 60 pounds. You look hectic. Nothing like that.
It's kind of funny, man, because saying goes on Facebook and Instagram. I know people from high school, like these were the hot shots. These were the hot shots in high school. I see them now, man. I'm like, wow. Shit, you aged bad.
Hey.
Your life, it's like, I don't know, man.
You had a hard life.
And it's just kind of ironic that, like, wow, you know, at one point I thought they were the shit. And now I look at them, I'll run circles around them. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, your life ended after high school. That's what it was. And it's kind of sad, but these were the people that were celebrated, man. And I remember the kids that were nerdy, didn't have the certain clothes or socially awkward, how they were treated. I remember those days. And now those same kids are very successful adults.
My question is, who do you blame? Who is the blame? And maybe we can get that down there sometime, but I want us to keep that in the back of the head. Who is the blame for that? You know, do we blame the guys? Do we blame women? Do we blame the parents? Who do we blame for this, for that process?
I blame the culture.
Culture is trash.
Yeah. Passport Blueprint, what are your thoughts?
I think it's more the community, because we don't fix what's in our own home, and two, we don't fix what's in our own community. To cultivate more education Because that's the way that's the beginning steps. We're going to fix our community. Shout out to Babe Simone. She's a YouTuber. She's in cybersecurity, IT. She's pushing a lot of our people getting into IT, and they're making 6 figs. And this is kind of the reason why I changed my name on this channel, because that's what I'm starting to do right now. Whether you're going to go overseas or not, at least we're going to get brothers to make 6 figures in the into the IT world, because I'm a cybersecurity analyst. That's my
okay.
But you know the sad thing, you know what I hate? There's 2 things I hate. Not what you went into, but now that the guys are seeing, like, I can work remotely. I can be anywhere in the world. I can still make, way over the 6 figures, be anywhere. And now those same guys that used to, talk bad or not doing something, and now all of a sudden they like, how do I get into IT? Because now they see the fruits of the labor. They see you on the video in Thailand or Colombia, DR. They seen you all over doing all this stuff, and they have to work that warehouse job, that forklift job, where they can't afford it, and they can't even get the time off to go. And now they trying to be like you. How can I do that? Well, that's the craziest thing to me.
Well, they're gonna have a little disappointment because they're trying to do digital nomad, but you can't do it in IT and cybersecurity.
No.
And I'm breaking that down, the reason why you can't do it in those locations, because it's a whole different, I'm just trying to demystify that myth. As far as the other thing, like software engineers and stuff, if you want to do that, fine, do that. But I'm gonna tell you, that's a feast and famine type of gig.
Yeah. Well, guys, I want to control the conversation, because we are going to talk about that. Because we're gonna talk about the Afrotech and how the new demand and why women and men are going there for it. But before that, hey, I got a list of videos I want to play. I want to get your live reaction, and let's just have that group conversation. So this is the first video right here.
I might take my scene out. I got a big head.
Ooh, yeah. Do you mind if I tell the truth for a second, y'all? Tell the truth. Yeah.
There you go, Fizz. We lost you there.
No, I was trying, since I'm the only person with their head showing, I'm looking out of place. I was trying to just go incognito, but we'll do it this way. I'll just be
go ahead. Go ahead and put your profile.
I'll just be the handsome one here. It's all right.
All right. Yeah. Okay. You got it like this. I just played a video that basically is a stereotype where they're positioning educated Black men as abusive, emotionally abusive, physically abusive. And again, I'm gonna play the video again because I had something over it. Tell me if you guys can see it. Just read the caption.
Ooh, yeah. Do you mind if I tell the truth for a second, y'all? Tell the truth. Yeah.
So basically, what she's doing, she's imitating an educated Pookie, educated lame, and why he should be jealous of a Pookie, because he fears that the Pookie may come and grab his woman, so he's gonna be abusive towards her. Do you guys feel like that's the case?
Maybe at a certain age. Oh yeah, like say high school, maybe college, a few years out of college. They can grab them. They might grab them because the lifestyle they living is fast, all of that. Not later on. Once you get to the 30s, they're not grabbing your chick. And if they do, that's not the chick you want anyway.
But you know what, that leads to my question here. Are educated lanes, are they intimidated by Pookie and Ray Rays? Because I tend to hear that a lot. Is that the real case, or do you think, is there some underlying jealousy of the Pookie and Ray Ray from the educated lane?
Yes. Scenario like this. Say, for instance, you did everything at your job right. You were there on time. You there, overtime. You do all of that. And then when it comes time to get a raise or get a promotion, the person who's late argues, never does their work, never complete, gets the raise or gets the promotion. You get upset because you say, I did everything right. I should be rewarded for this. So I think that's where the issue comes. The person who is doing everything right does not get the reward. The person who's doing everything wrong, they get rewarded for it. They get the accolades.
So that leads to my next question. Are educated lame respected?
Up to a certain age. In the beginning, no, not at all. And sometimes it matters the type of woman, but later on you're not. Because there's this perception that if you're educated, that you have you're only book smart, you're not street smart, that you have no swagger because of whatever they think. And they would rather reward the felony than something else. I mean, I remember people would say, you know, like, you're 30 and you don't have no kids? Like, you got to be gay. Something wrong. That's the expectations they have, that you have to have done something. You have to have been in prison. You got to have some kids, or you gay.
I think in some circles you are respected. Like say in a black church, you know, you're doing your thing. Yeah, you're going to be respected amongst that circle. But in the overall community, it's really going to depend on the circle, because like you said earlier, there's going to be people that's going to make sure you're not getting involved in certain things because they want to see you get out. So that's a level of respect they have for you.
I disagree with that. Who are the celebrated preachers? Like, I used to be a pimp, now I'm a preacher. I used to rob y'all, now I'm doing this. That's what's celebrated. If you led a clean life the entire time through, what do they say? You can't understand me, pastor, because you haven't had my struggles. How can you understand being a single parent? You're not a single parent. How do you understand drugs if you never did the drugs? So I disagree with that. They want the pastor who used to be the whore, do all those other things in the street, because now you can relate to me. Now you understand me. You was where I was at. That's what they want. See, there's no respect even in the church.
Yeah, but like for me, like I've gotten respect because they've seen me as a young kid. I never gotten involved in that type of a lifestyle, and I've gotten out of the hood. And a lot of people have a lot of respect for me.
They respect you, but who do they pray for? They pray for you, or they pray for little Pookie Johnny? You got to pray for Pookie Johnny. He having a hard time.
Got a point there.
He with me. Let's pray for Pookie Johnny. That's how it is. I mean, it's sad. I know you want to say the church helps us, but I don't think any part of our society celebrates it anyway.
No. I totally agree. I think the black community doesn't celebrate intelligence. We don't embrace it. We just don't. And again, I'm speaking as a Haitian American, you know, and I'm from the outside looking in. I was raised in the black community. And again, I remember, you know, me having an accent, I was picked on. When I started speaking properly, I was picked on. You know, why you acting white? Why you talking white? You know, why you dressed like that? And so there's a certain look and behavior that is expected for a black man to behave from childhood to adulthood, and that's what's embraced. I mean, even now, the stereotype of a black man is a muscle-bound, tatted up, beard, black dude. That's what masculine is. Yeah. But masculine comes in different shape and sizes. But in the black community, it comes in one standard format. And
can I share a quick story? And this is really cool. I was doing a ride share, my side gig. Well, this is actually before I got into my career. I had picked up this young lady. I took her from Scottsdale to Tucson, which was like a 2-hour drive. She had a doctor's appointment. And she was a software engineer. She was telling me about the whole business, you know, how much she got paid, this and that. Really inspiring young lady, 27 years old. And that kind of gave me a little bit more influence to get into the whole cybersecurity thing, you know. And she was such an influence. And the thing about it is, I always remembered her. She was a very positive influence. And the funny thing about it is, she was a Haitian immigrant. and she was like one of my best customers I had. She the best 4 hours, because I had to drop her off and take her back. Best 4 hours I spent with her. It was very educational, very influential, and it seems like I get those influence from our dark-skinned counterparts that's from the Caribbean or from Africa, rather than our own in our own community. And that's where, you know, it's sad. We don't really get it from within. We get it from outside.
Because we've been spoon-fed and spoiled. When you've done it, when you've been spoiled and spoon-fed like that, you don't see the opportunity. When somebody comes out of Haiti where you didn't, well, it's like food. Like if I said, man, I'm hungry, ain't nothing in the house to eat. That means there's nothing in the house that I want to eat. When you go to someone who's Haitian, who grew up in Haiti, when they say they hungry, ain't nothing to eat, that means there's nothing to eat. So they start appreciating, you know, when they come to the United States, people from Nigeria, all of that, they appreciate it. And they see the opportunity that we don't see. And they make sure that they go after that opportunity. They say, oh, education is free. I can get this. And if I work hard, I can get a scholarship. Oh, I'm doing that. Because they see it as a way out. And the only thing is we see sports or rapping or, you know, something like that as a way out. And the percentages of someone who's going to make it to the NBA are so small. But the percentages of someone who can make an MBA is entirely different.
Totally agree.
That's a
Totally
good
agree.
quote, man. I'm going to have to use that.
Yeah, I just wanted to share that with Kanal because he's Haitian. So
No, that's all good. I appreciate that, man. But I do have a video I want to share, and I want to definitely get you guys' reaction on it. I'm gonna play it.
Educated Lanes, my brothers, how y'all doing today? Let's have a conversation. I just thought about something. Y'all know how, like, in Black American culture or American Negro culture, how the sisters put us in one of two categories, right? Either you a hood brother or educated lane, right? Let's talk about that. I'm curious. You know how hood brothers have a lot of names, right? They get called, you know, Ray Ray, Mookie, John, Peanut and Jody, right? And Tyrone, right? Like Tyrone, right? Well, educated lanes, I thought about something. What's some nicknames for us, huh? What if we call ourselves some classy, some sophisticated, like Giancarlo, or Maxwell, or Raymundo, or Raphael, or Francois, or Charleston? Let's go with that. So educated lanes. The next time somebody be like, man, you an educated lane. Be like, yeah, I know. I represent a much more sophisticated brother who is highly intelligent, multifaceted, can always adapt with a baby face and a slightly rough, jagged edge. I represent the much more clean-cut brothers on their purpose. So, educated lanes. From now on, let's refer to ourselves as the Maxwells, the Charlestons, the Francois, the Braxtons. Yeah. How y'all like that? That's our name, all right? That's our name. I'm a proud, sophisticated, educated lane.
Wow. I love that. I so love that. I think this needs to be said to our younger generation of Black men. We need to celebrate our young boys to be successful. You know, and that, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, that video.
He's a house Negro. Jokingly, but that's what they would say. That's what would happen. It's sad, but we would say, "Oh man, he's a house Negro. He think he's better than us."
Oh, cool.
It's not the truth, but that's how we get. It's going to be portrayed. So especially if you give your name like
Raphael.
Yeah, you say, you know, I'm Braxton, or I'm Brad. I'm Bradley. Yeah, it's not. We would demonize it, you know, and it's sad that we've done that. And I think that's what happens in the Black community. We divide. I mean, that's how you have, I forgot the name of the group, where it's like, oh, well, you have to be lighter than a brown paper bag to pass through us. You know, it's like they start separating themselves based on that, because the culture has been so flawed. and they celebrate the things that's negative.
Yeah. Blueprint, what are your thoughts?
The thing about it is that when we celebrate these Pookies and Ray Rays, we just give these racist people out there the ammunition to prove them right. That's all it does, because it just says that this is all you can ever be is drug dealers and criminals and stuff. You'll never be the educated, high-end type of person. That's, and these lame guys, that's what we're proving. That's why we're becoming the doctors, the lawyers, the IT professionals, the cybersecurity professionals, that's what we need to be. That's what we need more of. If you want to get into sports, that's fine. Your path in life is what you want to do, that's fine. But when all we have is our representation and then the sports and rap music, what does that say about other portions of our career? We don't have a lot of the military people like the late Colin Powell, celebrate him, or the brain surgeon that was under the Trump administration. We don't celebrate him because of his accomplishments. These are people we need to start celebrating. We don't celebrate when Trump had the first Black female 2-star general. We don't celebrate her. These are people we need to start celebrating because these are accomplishments we've made. We look at these people as lame. We got to stop that, because we're trying to upgrade ourselves as a whole race, that we can disprove the racist comments coming from people. And it's on a global scale. It's not just in America. There's other countries that look down at us saying, look at what all you guys do is this, and that. We can disprove all that, but we got to stop celebrating the criminals.
My question is this. Let's just think of the language. What are we calling an educated person in the Black community? Y'all just said it. What's the name of this show? A lame. How does that even make sense? That's an oxymoron. An educated person in any other community is never called a lame. Our language even differentiates it. We say a square.
Yeah.
Women say, I don't want a guy that works a 9 to 5.
Man.
In any other place, that is like, man, my husband has a 9 to 5. So our language even destroys us. So to make it out, we gotta unearth the whole community.
My thing is this, and lately there's been a big push all over social media about guys who work 9 to 5, and how a lot of women are saying, I don't want to date a 9 to 5. I don't want to date a 9 to 5. It's like, what's wrong with a 9 to 5? It's like this whole fast money social media life that people are pushing out there, that's not real. That's not real at all. And it's kind of interesting now. It's like if a brother works a 9 to 5, he looks down upon. It's like not everybody's gonna be on these streets hustling and doing all these crazy shit, man. Some people just like being stable. And it's kind of sad in the Black community, we don't celebrate being stable. Like, we got to be doing something. If you're not, then you're not winning.
Yeah, it's like the girl that I picked up, she was making $350K a year. Is that lame? I work in Scottsdale, Arizona, where outside the celebrities, it's nothing but money. All these people are highly educated people that work 9 to 5, that got higher education. Are they lame? But yet they're in these big homes, these big mansions. And when I do rideshare, that's pretty much where I'm at the bulk of my business, either business travelers or the rich.
I'll tell you this, I live outside of Atlanta, and one of the well-off zip codes is Alpharetta. And Alpharetta has nothing. Majority of people who live in Alpharetta are Indians.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Duluth, The majority of people who have nice homes are the Asians. These are all the people who focus on STEM, science, technology, engineer, and medical.
Mathematics, yeah.
And mathematics, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And this is not celebrated in our community. We don't push our kids to study STEM. We, go find a social worker job, go find a city job. That's what's being pushed. We don't push our kids to strive for the best. But yet, trust me, we'll drive a Range Rover, we'll drive a Mercedes Benz, but then again, we live in the hood.
We got songs about it. Gator boots. Hood rich, man.
So it's kind of ironic how you have a segment of people downplaying a man working a 9 to 5, but that 9 to 5 is stable. He has benefits. He has a pension. I mean, he's getting a check every 2 weeks where he's not risking his life. But then again, you want to have that thug life in your life. You want to be roughed up. You want to be checked. I mean, it's just kind of ironic, which leads to my next question is, what are your thoughts about the relationships with women and educated lane? Do you think there's any type of relationship building, or women just desire a certain type of prototype of a black man versus dating an educated man?
I wouldn't say women. I would say black women.
Okay.
Because it's not all women. I think there's so much trauma that goes on in the black community that they trauma bond. They only know, so if things are going great, they can't roll with it. They need something to be disruptive, argumentative, always pressing. Those are traits that in the black community go. But when you go outside of that, entirely different. The relationship dynamics become entirely. If you're making it, someone in an Asian community or white community, you're like, oh man, I want to help. My husband is doing this. It becomes a networking session where they're doing everything they can because they understand that his success is our success, and they're building the empire. In the black community, a lot of times it's a competition with you and your spouse. Your success, you think you're successful now, you too good for me or this. It's never, you're not building an empire. Everybody's trying to build their own open silos. So the dynamics become crazy where they don't trust us. It doesn't matter how, I could be an accountant, the best CPA there is. And I would try to tell like my wife, hey, let me do the taxes. Let me do this. But you don't know what you're talking about. You're like, I do this for a living. I do everybody's taxes. But when it comes to you, I can't. That's how it would be. And, oh, you can't run my money. Maybe I run billion-dollar companies, but I can't run you a $50,000 job. That's what happens with us. There's no trust in the relationship. The dynamics become competition. There's no wealth building. There's only wealth destroying. So as soon as we get something, we don't see past next week to say, hey, how can we save for this house? How can we save? Let's put some money in for our 401k. Let's think down the line. Let's set up this 403 for this college fund. None of that. None.
I got a video I want to play. I want to get you guys' reaction on. I'm play it right now.
How black educated college men act like they too good to date. A lot of finally someone has said it and worded it way better than I ever could have, because I have been saying this with my best friend for the longest now, to where it's like if you look a certain way, it's like these men act like they are just like, it's always this certain look of female that they'll actually date and wife, because I guess they attribute it to like, oh, nice girl next door looking, like she won't possibly do this or that. She looks good on paper. I can bring her around family, this and a third, and she has the look. She has a very safe look. And myself and my best friend always talk about the fact that we feel as though because we have tattoos, I'm very tatted. Y'all can't see it now, but I have a lot of tattoos. Because we are tatted and have more of like a, I'm not gonna say like, I'm trying to find a right way to say it. I don't know. Anyway, because we don't have that girl next door look, men consistently try to fun girl us. These college educated men, it's always them. Like when it comes to like they always assume that we like We only like hood guys that they assume that they know our type, and they don't even give us a chance. Because me personally, I like college educated men. I went to college, and that's just what I like. I like nerds. I like fine nerds. I like squares. But these men always assume that my type is like, oh, I see she's tatted, she like hood niggas. That's like, and I'm just like, why do y'all keep doing that? And then not only keep doing that, but then you keep trying to put us in this fun girl category. And the fun girl is this category where it's like, I enjoy having fun with you, but I would never wife you. You don't have the look of somebody that I would consider a wife. And it's like, what does a wife look like? Because just because somebody looks like
Hey, so now, educated lane, we work so hard to put ourselves in a situation now that we're making six figures. We live in the life that we want to live. Granted, we were not considered desirable at one point. Now we are. So now we could actually pick what we want in most cases. Now they feel a certain type of way. What's your thoughts on this?
They don't pick that girl. She says they want the girl next door look, and they're not picking me because you're not the girl next door look. You're the girl on the street corner look. So let me break this down to your females. When you reach a certain level in corporate America, people judge you, not only by you, but by the woman you with. When you bring somebody with all them tats, all that crazy talk, those long nails, that image, because your image goes everywhere. I want y'all to look, when I was doing a seminar, we started looking like at who's successful. You start to see a pattern, how they look, certain height, always fit, always in shape, always took care of themselves. It was like that certain type, that A-type personality. And you look at their wives, simple wives. Why? Because those wives can look around the room and spot it. I'll say this about when we talked about Anton Daniels. One thing I would say about him, he said, when he goes to his meetups, that he has, he's like, yeah, my wife is there. He said, but you don't understand. My wife is working the room. She's finding out who's the successful person is. How can I network? That is what a man needs. I can't do that with that chick with the tattoos. They can't talk. It don't matter. It don't matter what. I think Kevin Samuels even said it best. Do the men you want you? And they've messed themselves up. You can't dress like and who's that? Chris Rock. You can't dress like a hoe and then not be expected to be called a hoe. People are going to approach you that way. So if you got the tats, the long hair, and people saying, "Yeah, she's the fun type," it's because you look the part. You have dressed the part of the fun type. Don't be upset because you're getting treated how you present yourself.
Yeah, it's like, don't sit here and get mad. You're all tatted up like you're a member of the Yakuza and you expect to be treated, like a corporate girl. It just don't happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are groomed to be corporate. You have to meet that match. It's almost like with the people in the royal family. When they go date a woman, that woman is groomed for that family. You have to be groomed for that guy. If that guy educated and stuff like that, you have to be groomed for that, because basically you're going to be part of his life, and that's also including the work life. You can't be the guy with all the long fingernails, talking improper, loud, all this other stuff. You can't be that. You got to be at his level, his mindset. It was like this. I just saw this video of this black girl. She married this white guy, and he was in the corporate world. He was constantly working, but she understood that. But she had to change because she had to be at these social functions, and she had to work the room, just like Phyllis was just describing with Anton, because these wives of other people that he worked with, they got to talk to her, and there's got to be that connection, that social connection outside of the corporate work environment. And if you don't meet that connection, that can ruin it for him, whatever business opportunity he's going to have, because that's the other glue to that whole business opportunity is going to be that wife. And if you don't meet it, oh well, you become a liability.
Yeah. And I have another video I want to highlight.
One second.
Go for it.
Trackus, I think he said it great. They wear city girl uniforms and say they want an educated lane. Did she always want an L, or does she want one now after Tyrone cut her off? And I think that's it.
Yeah.
When she say she like the nerds and she like that, that's when her tat days is over and she done tatted herself up and been out in the streets, now she ready to come to. Now I like the nerds. Now I like that. That's because your options. Maybe she's grown and now she's like, well, man, I look around and Tyrone ain't doing it for me. But you are what you are. You made the bed. You got to lay in.
Yeah. It's kind of funny is that I remember in my 20s in Miami, undergrad, the girls dated all the guys that didn't go to college. It was crazy. I'm like, you have all these college dudes here. My major was information technology, and they will bypass us to date the street dudes. I remember this. This is in Miami. This is back in the 90s. They get pregnant by them and everything else. And I'm like, wow, okay, then now you want this type of dude? It's like, it doesn't work that way. And it's just kind of ironic how now that educated lane that you kind of overlooked is now more the guy that's actually considered the high value man or considered the man that's doing well for himself. Everyone wants that now. But at one point, everyone overlooked him. So as an educated lane, guys, and to my young brothers out there, stay in the book, stay focused, do you. Trust me, man, the world comes back to you and you'll have the upper hand.
But here's something interesting that you just said. And I'm going to ask this question. How many of these women that said they want the educated lane, how many of them are single mothers?
They need those benefits, man. You can't get child support from a dude who don't work. If you're a scammer, you're not getting the W-2.
That's the thing. How many of them are single mothers versus just single women? There's the difference.
Yeah, guys. Like I said, tonight is the revenge of the nerds. It's ironic how things just come back in circles, man, and understand that all the work and time that you put into yourself to put yourself in that position is paying off. And again, still continue to work on yourself, continue to do things that's going to enlighten you and put yourself in a better position. Trust me, man, if you are single, you'll find the right one. And I got this video I want to play. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Educated college men act like they too good to date. A lot of types of women like
y'all women, or some of you women, really have a problem when a man says a preference, because at the end of the day, that's all this is, right? And us men try our best to act accordingly or try to justify some of the preferences that women have. But this be it, us men have the day of time, have said the way a woman holds herself, a way a woman presents herself is very key into these situations. We as men, most of us understand that what someone's job title is or how they dress does not define them as a person, but presentation is key, right? So this be it, ladies, if a man is half naked on the internet and posts his print pic, are you going to take him serious? Most likely not. Can you respect him? Can you have a conversation? Can you be his friend? Absolutely. But putting him in the place where he represents you, probably not.
And I have another video here. 1 second.
I want to have a conversation about how black educated college men act like they too good to.
And you fit to spend your whole life trying to teach this hood how to aspire to be the type of man that the black educated man is. Why the hell, Why y'all find it so intriguing to want to fix a flat? Why? Oh, because they gonna appreciate you more. Of course they is. Because you about to be the man mama. You about to be his mama. You gonna have to tell him to go get this job so he can provide this for you. You gonna have the place he gonna move in with you. And guess what? All the while, you ain't got to change nothing or adjust nothing about yourself. You ain't got to fix your posture. You ain't gonna have to elevate. And I think that's what y'all want. Y'all want to not have to elevate, but be loved a certain way. But when you get with somebody with an education who is at this level, who says, nah, I don't want to touch the same type of people that a Pookie can touch. You got to elevate yourself. Not all of a sudden you not appreciated. No, he worked hard for that. Come on now.
Wow. Hey, I've always said this, man. I'm not gonna date a woman that a Pookie and Ray has access to. I'm just not. There's a certain type of people I'm just not gonna give the time of day. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I don't train pit bulls, man. So, and what I mean by that is, you know, a pit bull who been used to street fight, he always got that instinct to street fight. No matter how much you pet him, how much you dress him up, I can't retrain him. And that's the same with a woman. No matter how she's dressed up, that hood chick, it's gonna come out. And it's gonna come out at the wrong time. It's gonna cost me a whole lot of money, a whole lot of status. You just don't put yourself in there. If you're not trained to do that, don't put yourself with them chicks, man.
Too much of a liability, especially when you worked hard for your career to get where you get. It's a liability.
Let me tell you guys something. The reason that if a guy cheats, like a married guy, he cheats, usually you'll see like a married guy who would cheat with a married woman. Why is that? Because they both got something to lose. Because both they can't open up their mouth. We date girls who don't have nothing to lose. If she ain't got no job and she want to call the police and say you've been hitting her, she don't lose no job. She may go to jail and she on Section 8. Her rent only $25. She can get that anywhere. You lose your job, you lose a whole lot. So you can't go around dating people who have nothing to lose because you will lose everything.
Facts. Now we're going to move on to the next topic, and something that I shared with Fearless about a week ago about the Afrotech. I'm not sure if you guys, well, it's interesting, all three of us in tech. So you guys have probably heard about Afrotech. I attended Afrotech last year. It was a great conference. Afrotech is the conference where we, all Black folks within tech will come together and celebrate for 3 days, network, attend panels, workshops, and so forth. And it's all around software development, networking events, cybersecurity, anything around tech. Black folks, they're there.
Can I do a rant? Can I do a rant before you show it?
Yeah, definitely. And Afrotech has become a huge event now where women realize that guys who go into Afrotech are the six figures. Like, I was there last year. It was a great event here in Atlanta. They have one in Houston as well, in New York and Miami. And now the sisters believe that, hey, this is where you want to go find a man. Now, granted, guys, most guys who are in tech were the educated lames who became successful, who leveled up their style, their look, went to the gym, start dressing better, making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year in tech. These are these are the guys that women are now desiring, the educated lames, the former educated lames. They probably still educated lames. So now there's tons of TikTok videos telling women, hey, if you want to go find that six-figure man, go to Afrotech. Go to these tech conferences. You're going to find your husband there. And it's kind of ironic where, again, the educated lane was never celebrated. He was looked down upon, but now this is a place where you got to go and find them. So what are your thoughts on that? And go ahead and share your experience.
Do my rant first.
Yeah.
Y'all don't want this. Y'all guys don't want this. I'm living proof that y'all don't want this. Here's the reason why. There was no Black man who told me how to get in tech. Every person who schooled me on tech was white. I looked around for black people, couldn't find them. Number two, I've done videos saying how I became a digital nomad. I've had several people contact me and say, man, you know, I want to learn. I'm like, brother, I'll mentor you. You know how I can get you this certification. We need about 9 months. We can get you there. If you've never had a computer experience, we can get you there. What you gonna be doing this time next year? By this time next year, you're either gonna be in the same job or we can get you 6 figures. You can get, even if you ain't the first job 6 figures, we can get you there. We just need to study just a little bit. We're gonna take the certification. We're gonna do that. How many of those guys that I've tried to mentor lasted a month? None. So it gets tiring. Even when in my position now, the people that have become, we have college programs, and the people that have come through, the ones that have been successful are not black. None of us. We always got a chip on our shoulder. We think we know something. We arrogant. We try to do something on our own. Where you try to teach somebody, they still don't. So Afrotech is great, but a lot of you guys think y'all gonna do something. It ain't meant for everybody. Y'all don't have the dedication. Y'all don't have the time. Y'all can't, you can't go 3 months on a diet. You can't go 6 months studying. It's too much. And so with the Afrotech, what pisses me off is the people who have done it, who have grown to get in a certain way. Now you want to come in and disrupt them. You wasn't checking for them before. Now you want to come in and try to take, you want to meet them at the finish line. You know, you want to get the fruits of their labor because you see that they're being successful. Pisses me off. Go to Becky. Brothers, go to Becky. Go to Becky, Maria, or Mylene.
Come on, man. Come on. We can't say that, man. It's just like...
Bro, hold up. You can't say that, but a chick is look, a chick won't pay for your date. She'll tell you got to pay for her nails, her hair, all of this. But she'll pay $1,000 to get a picture with Chris Brown, and she'll pay $800 to go to Afrotech to try to game a brother. What you talking about? We can't talk about it. That's what they doing. Afrotech is $800 to get in.
Oh, yeah.
They paying that $800 like it's nothing, like it's paying a dating app, because they're not going there to network and say, hey, how can I build this up? They're going there in search of dollar signs. Who can I get money from? Who can I manipulate? And especially if you a fine chick and a brother who's been a nerd ain't had the taste of that fine chick, you're going to end up like Fresh from Fresh and Prit. You're going to deposit your seed in something that shouldn't even be deposited in. Crazy. So yeah, it's us. It's no other culture, because if it's any type of other Latin tech, Indian tech, the women that are going there, you know what they are in? Tech.
They're in tech. Yeah.
These chicks is in hairstyling school, nail school. They going there not for the same purpose. They was too crazy to get the guy in college and too lazy to try to look and see that he had potential, because they were somewhere else hoeing around at the frat parties and inside the brothers' dorms. But now this is where they want to go to try to get their man. Yes, it's black people, man. It's our culture. No other cultures does that. Vultures. I said it. I said it.
Okay. But I gotta agree with him, because think of it like this. It's like a stock. You know, you want to buy stock at its lowest with the potential of it going high. You don't want to get it. You don't want to buy stock high because it's too expensive. You want to get it at a low, because when it goes high, you make a lot of money. That's the same thing with a man. If the guy got potential, he's going to make money. Like these guys who are getting into tech or become lawyers, you know, he's going to profit. He's going to be a moneymaker. These women not even thinking on that level. They want to get there when it's high. That's a high cost. You can't afford that. You should have got it when it was low, when he was in college working on that degree.
I'm gonna tell you this, and speaking from experience, I've been in the tech space for over 15 years. There's not a lot of us, and I agree with Fearless. There's not a lot of us. As much as people want to say it is on TikTok and social media, especially in leadership role, there's not a lot of us. There are a lot of Indians, a lot of Asians, Yes, they run that. But as far as black folks, no. I mean, even this morning, I was telling Fearless before the live stream, and I was doing an interview for a VP role. And again, you're not going to find a lot of black men or black people in tech and executive roles. You're just not going to find them. And when they are, trust me, they worked hard for it. Look, guys, this whole perception that tech is easy, it's not that easy. It's like you're literally competing every day. And the fact that they could bring someone from India, from Ireland, from Russia, from Poland, that could do your job for a lesser cost, you got to keep your skills sharp. You know, you don't just get a certification, think that, hey, I'm done with it. You know, I'm done with this certification. I could just move on. It doesn't work that way. And one thing I just want to circle back to what Felix said about networking. We as black people, we don't do a good job networking amongst each other. We don't network. We have these networking parties and all this bullshit, but there's really no networking happening. A lot of my success in my career were contributed by white people helping me.
Thank you.
It is what it is. Look, I could count how many times a black man or a black person helped me in my career. and my two fingers that I had any type of positive black role model in tech, 2 fingers. That's it. Within a 15-year career span. The people who helped me, who helped me put myself in a position were non-blacks in tech. They saw that, hey, this guy's sharp. He's very process-oriented. Let's give him a chance. Never had that from a black person. Never. Even now, the company I work for, I'm the only black guy.
The best compliment I got from white people is, "You not like them other blacks." Oh, yeah, you right. you goddamn right. I'm not like them other black brothers. You got a special one, and I'm not like them. So you are absolutely correct. I used to take it as a bad thing. Like, man, how can they say that? I'm not like the other brothers. What do they think? And then I started to see how the other brothers operate. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not like them. I'm not like them. We're not there.
I'm a strong believer in separating ourselves from certain type of people. I'm not against that. You may want to call me a elitist or whatever. I think that the best and brightest needs to separate themselves because every time we try to go back into the community and help them and bring and uplift them, dude, you get clowned for that.
Yep.
But anyways, I got a video on the Afrotech, and now the surge of women going to Afrotech to find a husband. I want to hear your thoughts on this. I'm gonna play the video.
But how do we feel about women flying out to Afrotech with the purpose of looking for husbands? Because apparently the men are in on it. Men know that women are doing that.
Oh yeah, they're aware. Oh no, I talked to some of the bros. They said, "Bro, it's whole apocalypse out here." The effectiveness and the efficiency of these hunters is crazy, and they're just waiting for what's coming to them. Check the economy, and it's looking good out here to be a tech guy.
Somebody commented, he's so glad that she decided to decenter the attention for males in her life. Afrotech is not cheap, right? Afrotech apparently is $800 for a ticket, correct?
Hi.
Aren't familiar with Afrotech. Afrotech is a conference that is essentially supposed to be like an amazing networking experience for Black people in tech to network, to catch vibes, to learn, to educate themselves, and to honestly be in the midst. And then apparently it's also a great place for recruiters to recruit for tech jobs.
Whole new dynamic that has arisen is a result of the TikTok girlies. Because TikTok girlies came online and gave girls tips. They were like, yo, like if you guys want these husbands, like there's a new hub, like there's a new hive. And then they're like, yeah, the tech guys are all there. And then, they're basically chilling out in these suites and hunting these guys down. And these guys—
I think the thing that's painful for me is what happens if we don't get that return on investments, that ROI, if you will. We're going to use a little bit of tech jargon.
Oh, I love what you did there.
What essentially happens if we don't get that ROI? If we spend a lot more and then we actually did not leave with something. To this woman, it's like we need to understand, like, it's one thing to meet a guy at a very, important or affluent event, but are you talking to him 6 months from now, or even worse, 2 weeks? Because the talking stage would be cute.
So soft life get as it be. Sometimes it's soft. Eventually it starts to get hard. you know, from time everything.
It's already hard when there's recession. So for me, as a soft life,
I mean, they just rambling now. But you kind of get the gist how now a lot of these tech conferences is the hub to finding a mate. A lot of single women are actually attending these events, and these women are not in tech. They're in a whole different profession, attending these tech conferences. And again, tech conference is tech. It's nerd stuff. It's like, really, when you go there, they're talking about programming code, user interface, you know, like system analysis and all this good stuff, which we kind of geeked out. Like for me, I love process workflows. Like I will geek out with a process workflow. But then again, someone else who's not in tech may look at this process workflow like, what the hell is this? So they're spending $800 to fly out to whatever state that's hosting this Afrotech, hotel, room, you know, transportation. That it could come up to easily like $2,000. So now they're going out to find these educated lames. What are your thoughts on that now that you know, there's a big push in having women to go out to these tech conferences to meet these successful, highly paid six-figure men who are very successful in their right, to, you know, hoping that they can connect with them.
When child support court failed, the best next thing is Afrotech. That's how I see it. You know, if you can't date the NBA player, if you can't be the Brittany Renner to get somebody to come up in you, you know, hey, the next best thing, you gotta go to Afrotech. You gotta get somebody with some benefits. You gotta get somebody to go out there, and you know, they're not gonna find them where they usually found them out, in the clubs. So you know, they're networking, which is, I can't really even be upset with them. You know, vultures that they look for the kill. That's what they go for.
Yeah, but and this is the problem with relationship, is it's now money based.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It's not about the emotions, it's not about love. It's now I'm looking for a dude that got money, because now look what's going on. You know, mortgages are going up, you know, getting priced out of home. You know, the moratoriums from the pandemic is expired, and you know, got to pay your student loans now and all this other stuff. So now it's like they're financially strapped. So we got to find a nest egg. But at the same time, even if you do find a nest egg, you still behind his back on him go and let Pookie and Ray Ray bust up in you. So what's the purpose?
Yeah, and but it's just kind of interesting. And again, it goes back to how everything comes back in full circle. That educated land that was once picked on, once overlooked, once never given the opportunity, is now considered as a desired person because he cleaned up. That educated lane decided to go to the gym. That educated lane decided to dress up and level up his style. He's still a nerd. He just leveled up. So now he's desirable. But that fuck dude you were fucking with all these years, whom you kept giving chances after chances after chances, left you in a situation now where, okay, hopefully this guy will give me a chance. And again, there's a lot of educated lames out there who are a piece of shit. They think they're more than what they are. You know, they treat people like trash. Yeah, those people, avoid them at all costs. But there's still a lot of good educated lames out there that people like to call us, who really want a relationship, who really want to build something, but they're not meeting the right type of people. And here's another video where another woman mentioned about the Afrotech.
Message is specifically for black men and black women who are interested in dating other black men and black women. Listen to me, I just did a talk at the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. Let me tell you something. This is the new dating strategy, all right? I need you to look up professional organizations, black professional organizations. I need you to look up their annual and national conventions, and I need you to just show up. Show up. And I don't want to hear you talk about, ooh, that's being thirsty. You over here in a drought, and then you got the nerve to ask if it's bubbly or still. Shut up. All right? Show up. I am married, and I want you guys to get the goals that you have. And if you are looking to pursue a relationship, you need to just show up. Next time I do a talk at one of these black professional organizations, I'm just going to bring my single friends. I'm bringing them. I met my husband because I said, you're cute, put my number in your phone, and we've been together for 13 years. Make it happen.
What are your thoughts on that?
if they put as much effort in the beginning as they did now, it'd be an entirely. I wouldn't have any, be upset with them. They just don't put any of that effort in. We become the leftovers, and the reason them brothers treat like the first video you showed where the girl said that she's they treat her just like the fun girl.
Yeah,
is because they tired of the leftovers. Nobody wants to be treated like, you know, you didn't want me, you know, what is it? What's Mike Jones say? Y'all know. Now I'm up.
Yeah.
Now you want me. So nobody wants to have that treatment. You know, it's where was you at before? Where, you know, who was there with me? But that's what they doing.
Blueprint, what are your thoughts on it?
Passports up. That's all I got to say. Passports up. Because that's what I'm saying. It's not about the person anymore. You know, don't you think these guys got feelings? You know, you're just using them for his money. And suppose something happens, like he loses his job, then what? You're just going to bounce? You know, you're using this dude. That's what you're just using him.
Okay. Yeah.
No one wants to be used.
You know what? I think today relationships have become so transactional, like so transactional to the point where if you're not sending more than $100 to you know, for me to have lunch, you're not a great man. It's like now it's like everything's really based on how much money I spend on the person to be considered as desirable, and it's kind of crazy. As you mentioned before, everything has become very transactional, and now people are using these trade shows, these conferences, as a way to meet somebody based on transactional efforts. So you go into this event because you assume that I make six figures. You're not going there to really get to know me as a person or really want to have my similar interests, because again, I'm an educated lame. I like anime. I like playing video games. I like to do certain things that most average black man doesn't like to do or have an interest in doing. Are you going to have that same interest?
Thank you. That's the thing, because that keeps things going. You know, when you're at home. You know, I was listening to Donovan Sharp, and he'd said something interesting. He said, love is boring. And I thought that was kind of interesting, because as he goes further, he was talking about love is a duty, and having this duty is boring, but it's my duty to you to not cheat, or, you know, to make sure that you're taken care of with the basic necessities, you know, things like that. And I thought that was quite interesting that he said that it's boring. It's not this exciting lifestyle. You know, it is. And I think that's what they want. They want to live this exciting lifestyle that's constant. And that's why they choose the thuggos. But people got to realize all these thuggos and drug dealers that these women desire so much are nothing more than targets. Because you either got something pointed them by, I don't want to say the word, they either got the pew pew pointed by the law enforcement, or by their competition, or even by civilians. You know, look what happened to Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a sad situation.
I could tell you one situation where this girl that I know back in Miami, very beautiful girl, she used to always date drug dealers, always. And she ended up dating this big time drug dealer in Miami, where she had to go to Spain and smuggle drugs. And she got caught. She ended up serving 10 years in Spain prison. She comes out of jail 10 years later. She's back into life again. Again, she's still attractive. She's back into life again. And guess what? They actually gunned her down. Damn. They pulled up next to her while she was driving and AK-47 lit the car up. So living in Miami, that's just so common to see a lot of women chase after the drug dealers, chase after the dudes that ain't about shit. And it's just like the result is always the same. It's always the same. And that's why being the educated lame is safe. Your life gets better. Your life is not that as hard as you think it is. You really do have options if you actually look outside of your city block. And if you have a passport, that just opened things up immensely. So now, again, there's a big pushing women to go to Afrotech. And they trying to find that six-figure, well-to-do, stable, emotionally stable man to become a husband, because they understand, like, hey, that fuck boy that you were chasing afterwards ain't about shit. And the sad thing is, the majority of the time, the women know that this dude ain't about shit, but they stick around. I'm like, whatever.
But then again, we go back to the question I asked earlier. How many of those people are single moms?
I mean, single mom or not, because again, you have a lot of single moms that still go out there and find a good man, and she wised up and she's become a great wife. So I'm not using that as an example. I'm speaking about just women making poor decisions and selecting bad men, regardless of either you're a single mom or not. I think a lot of women get caught up by the glitz and glamour, the shiny things. And I can give you guys a perfect example. 2 years ago, man, I was out here in Atlanta, went to a spot, went to a Sunday brunch, and this sister, and I was talking to her, whatever. She kept looking at this dude with a beard. He was the stereotype of a black man, the stereotype, the big beard, tatted up on the neck, everything. And she's like, "Oh, he's cute and whatever." Dude, 6 months later, man, she's pregnant by this dude. Dude ain't about shit. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. So it's just like, they just make dumbass decisions. And at a point, I just sit there and just like, all right, whatever. It's like, hey, that's your life.
It's the culture, man.
Yeah.
What other culture chooses their baby daddy because he got nice hair and a tattooed neck? You don't see that in any other culture. You bring a dude from India home, they gonna, where do you live? Where do you work? What's your family like? I need to meet your parents. Even Latinos the same way. You know, it's us that do it. We don't care. We find what we choose to be the father of the children. The qualifications are nothing to make somebody a good parent. Or I was doing this one girl I knew said, "Oh, he bow-legged." He bow-legged. What they got to do with him being a good dad? She liked the bow-legged. But before we go on, my question is to you guys. I want to know, because, and I'll tell my story. What made you get into tech, and how has it changed your life? And, you know, just tell me that. I like to hear that.
Okay. For me, this is going back to 2000. I was in undergrad. I was studying marketing as my primary major. Then someone told me about management information systems, and at the time I didn't know what it was, but it's like, yo, you probably need to look into this, because it's gonna be really big in the coming years. So I decided to stay another year. So I ended up getting 2 bachelors in 2002 when I graduated. I had graduated with my marketing and my MIS degree. My MIS degree got me the job at Allstate in Chicago. So really, by just talking to, again, this was a Spanish kid was telling me about MIS, you know, and I decided to stay another year and get that second major. And when I graduated, Allstate offered me a job. Again, I'm 22 years old. Allstate offered me a $49,000 a year job. I'm 22 years old, straight out of college. I'm in Miami, but I had to move to Chicago. And again, I'm from Miami. I never experienced snow, nothing like that. But I was like, you know what? I accept it. And they gave me a $4,000 signing bonus. This is 2002. This is 2002, man. And I'm like, okay. So me and my Thunderbird, we went to Chicago. And that's where my tech career started, man. Started at Allstate 2002. And from there, I kind of progressed. I still fell into the marketing, but I got more into information technology, and kind of merged the two. Got into project management, campaign management, marketing automation, system analysis. So that's been my career for the past 15 years, man. And now, like I told you this morning, I was doing an interview for a VP role.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have a permanent job and I have a little side side. You know my situation, Fearless.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, guys, man, even as a contractor, I make, look, I'm not afraid to show you this. I make 85 minimum an hour. $85 an hour minimum. So I mean, I remember 1.1 contract that I had, I was making about 120 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, that's nothing. I have friends who make over $200 an hour. And that's why I laugh, like, you know, oh, he's broke because this guy may drive a Honda Civic, but dude makes about $300,000 a year. So I laugh when women want to judge a guy based on what car he drives and all this shit. I'm like, yo, this guy, he's all right. And like my nephew out in Baltimore, dude, he's an investment analysis. Dude, he's up there in the 3Ks. He drives a little Jeep Wrangler. So it's just kind of interesting to see that, you know, being in tech, being in finance, being an engineer, that's what the field is. And as a black man, if you're on these fields, you're making money. You're making more than the average black man, because the average black man makes about $45,000 a year.
Mm.
So if you're making about 150, 200K, dude, you're averaging about 10,000, about $8,000 a month in salary, net, not gross, but net. So that's how my career started in IT, and that's where I'm going to stay for the rest of my life. I'm not going anywhere else. Blueprint, what about you?
Mine's is a little bit different. I started in the military doing military intelligence, and I got out. I worked on my degree in intelligence studies. Main focus was on terrorism, but I got out and I wanted to, when I got my degree, I wanted to get back into it, but something drew me more into the whole cyber threat intelligence. So I wanted to pursue that, but I needed to get my skills up. So I decided to get certifications in cybersecurity. And right now I'm a SOC analyst, just got into the game, and just learning the whole defenders portion of it, you know, the types of attacks and things that's going on. And at that same time, I'm developing more and more of my cyber threat intelligence skills, so that way I can make that jump and get into that particular field. So, well, I'm kind of in it right now, you know, being a SOC analyst, but that's just basically what I want to do. Is just because my love for doing intel analysts, it drew me into the whole cyber threat intelligence analyst thing. So I'm just working my way to get in that field, from, you know, being a SOC analyst. So I'm slowly making my jump up there, and, you know, and I'm in the 50K category, but, you know, it's like I said, I just started, you know, and right now I'm constantly learning, constantly investing my own money into growing and growing, but it's a journey.
Blueprint, in 2 years, Blueprint, in 2 years, you'll be making six figures. Trust me.
Oh yeah. Once I get the training that I need and I'm doing this on my own, I will get there. But like I said, it's like stocks. You start at the bottom, you know the potential, what the person can make. That's when you jump on that person and you grow with that person. So you enjoy the wealth. And that's what these women are not seeing. They're at the finish line, they want to jump on. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and guys, like my boy Tobias the Traveler, he actually relocated to Thailand. He's in Bangkok. This dude is a product, I think he's a product manager at one point. Dude's up there in the 200Ks, man. Guys, if you're in the tech field and you know your stuff, you're gonna make money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a single black man in the tech field, trust me, you're having fun, and you're totally having fun in the dating life. What about you, Fearless?
Well, let me start with this, because you know, I showed you I got this. So can I show that?
Yeah.
So I'm not driving my Honda no more. I got tired of brothers where I'm at always looking good. So I got me the convertible Lex up there, over 100 grand for the car. I had to do something because I got tired of making all this money and everybody else looking good. And the thing is, where I'm driving at, it ain't even a car that sticks out. So how did I get in this field? Oh man, I was a passport bro before there was a passport bro, before the name ever even existed. Working for the city. And I remember I was going to DR and I was like, man, these trips are great. But I could only stay for so long because I only had so many vacation days. I remember I went to this gentleman. It wasn't even Airbnbs back then. So my first time when I went to college, I came out before you, Kanal. So there was a professor saying, hey, y'all need to get on this www. But it wasn't like, there was no way. You was either a computer scientist where you did hardware. That there was no infotech, anything like that. So I went into a whole different career. Like I said, I was working at the city, always going back and forth. Every time I got a vacation, traveling, we couldn't stay anywhere. Happened to rent this place out that was on the beach, actually in Cabaret. And the gentleman had all these monitors up, and his patio faced the beach. So it was like the beach. Yeah, he had the beach. Wow. He had in the quarters, it was like a maid's quarter. And I was like, a maid's quarter? And he's like, yeah, you know, the maid lives with me. She take care of everything. He had a driver. I was like, man, I thought he was like a sports bettor because on one of the monitors, you know, this how naive I was. I didn't even really know what a monitor was. It's like, man, what is you do sport betting? He's like, no, I do information technology. It's like, huh? He said, I've never met the people I work for, and I never met the people who work for me. And I'm making like, it was even back then, it was like $75 an hour. I was like, man, how do I be what you are? Because here's the thing I wanted to do. I love traveling, but the limitation on traveling was I could only do it on vacation days. I always had to be locked in someplace. And it's like, man, I want to do what he does. I want to be able to go anywhere and make the same amount of money. Because if you're in the Dominican Republic and you're making 100,000, it's entirely different than living in Dallas, Texas, making 100,000. Your funds, you can live like a king. So I went back and I said, man, I got to devise a plan. And here's what brothers will not do. Y'all won't devise a plan. There was nobody helping me. I just said, how do I do this? This is where I want to go. Somebody tell me how to get there. And I started asking questions, got around, and I went back to school. So I'm like the oldest dude in class, bro. But here's the difference. I had a purpose because I was like, I ain't got to party. Man, I partied already. I ain't got to chill with y'all. And the best thing is I knew nothing about IT. And what made that better was there were people who could fake the funk, who could go in and they knew this much. And when you hear him talk, I was like, man, that guy's a genius. He really ain't know shit. But because I really didn't know shit, I had to study. So that helped me out tremendously. I got a co-op. I was like, man, you know, okay, how do I get this? I got a co-op. And the co-op actually that I work now is a co-op that I had. I had like 3 co-ops. I was working for GE, Simmons, some other places. And I landed where I was at. And I was like, oh man, this is how it is. Money. And this is what I think what happened. And just to go back, I think what happened with the women wanting the tech guys was COVID. You know why? Because when COVID hit, you know, I used to go into the office. When COVID hit, it's like, hold up, man, IT don't really need to come in. We don't need you. Everybody that work for me work overseas. My boss is in Vegas. It's like, IT don't come in. And so I think they started to see guys who were not in IT, who were being able to go remote, being able to travel, because my travel picked up tremendously. I mean, I was going out the country if I was out of the country 1 month or 1 week out of every month, gone. I'm like, I'm out of here, picking up, gone. And then I wouldn't, at the end of the year, I could take the whole month of December off because I never burned any vacation. And I talk about it. I would leave like at 5 o'clock. I get wherever I'm going, 11 o'clock at night. I'm in that country. I can start my meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm partying the rest of the time. So I could jam. And I'm going to disagree with you, Passport Print. I do cybersecurity. Right now, I do cloud architecture. I'm an AWS solution architect, Azure, GCP. So I do the architecture side, but I also do our cloud security. And you can do it remotely. I have my CEH and CISSP. It's just how you do it remotely. You know, there's certain ways you can get around that, where how you have your routers and things done. So I can tell you how to do that. where you can still be anywhere in the world and they still think I'm here right here in Dallas, Texas. So those things are done. And then the salary. And what pissed me off is, I know you say it's hard, Kanal, or you know it's difficult, but let me be honest. My first job was working at a nursery where I used to have to plant flowers, pick up flowers, do all this soil. That job was 10 times harder than what I do now. I'm in a cool relax. Once you get to that state and you know what you're doing, it's just like doing a job. Now, the hard part is here, because when you do something, you got to do a lot of thought process, a lot of problem solving and thinking things through. If you only playing checkers and don't play chess, this ain't going to be for you, because you have to be mentally bright. But once you're there, it's like, man, the money come in and you can go. If you just do a search right now, I want the people in the chat to do this search. AWS solution architect salary. And just do remote. I just did that 3 days ago. It was $100 an hour. We're fully remote. You ain't coming in. You ain't seeing us. You fully remote.
I mean, guys, I could say this. During the pandemic, I was out of the country 80% of the time. Like, I was in Colombia, Brazil, DR, Costa Rica, working remotely. And again, I was working for, because I'm not working, I don't work for Deloitte anymore, so I can call out their name now. I was working for Deloitte. And trust me, I was being well taken care of. Like, every year they will renew my contract and I get a bonus. And each time, man, I was gone. And guys, when I meant to say hard, I don't mean hard to do it. Hard for you to be committed, for you to stay focused. Like, you really got to stay focused on what you really want to do. Like, for me, like where I'm at now in my career, it wasn't easy because I had to pivot so many damn times. I made a lot of wrong mistakes, but at the same time, I stayed committed to it. And now, like I said this morning, man, I had an amazing interview for a VP role. And it's just like, they want to move forward to the next steps. So guys, put yourself in a position where you can win. And I saw a comment by Sonny that says that black men are the whiniest men. I never hear no other man gripe, whine, or moan about their women. We're not. I want to make this simple, clear to this person. We're not here to bash anybody. We're not here to talk shit. None of that. We're talking about what's currently going on in the country. Now, yes, are there good women? Yes. Are there bad women? Yes. Are there good men? Yes. Are there bad men? Yes. We're talking about all facets of people. But at the end of the day, we want to uplift our black men.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to help out. I gave my email address, but let me put, was it imperfect? Dionys. Oh man, I messed that up. Imperfect. I'll say that. I'll be taking Theo's AWS class in the fall. Any tips to prepare to do something now and get started? Here's what I tell guys, and it's sad. You can get on something like a Cloud Guru or Pluralsight, and I think the premium one is $40 a month, and it's like a 20-hour course. And I tell people maybe take it 3 times as much. So let's say it took you 3 months to do it. You spend $150. The test is another $150. You can do that in 4 months. So in 4 months, you can be certified. It don't matter what your first job is. So what if they fire you? You just need something on your resume. You need to get in somewhere where you can learn. Where you say, I'm doing this hands-on. Fake the funk till you get in. I don't know how to do it. Look, I've been in my job for 8 years. And you know who my best friend is? Google. I Google shit I don't know. How do I set up an EC2? How do I do S3?
I mean, guys, with today technology,
can I?
Yeah. 1 second.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually going to introduce you because I got to introduce you. Guys, with today's technology, we have ChatGPT. Dude, ChatGPT is on my phone. It's on my work computer, my personal computer. Dude, I even taught my 12-year-old son how to use ChatGPT. I'm not sure if he's using that to get his homework done, but he's using it. So, I mean, guys, use technology to educate yourself, to put yourself in a position to win. But before I say that, listen, I want to take the time to introduce the one and only Tobias the Traveler. This is the guy that is a dear friend of mine. He's a well-to-do traveler out. He actually relocated to Thailand, Bangkok. So welcome to the show, Tobias, man. I know it's like, 12 p.m. your time in Thailand. What's going on, brother?
Life is good. Am I audible? I just want to make sure I'm good.
Sir. Yes, you are.
All right, cool. So yes. So currently in Bangkok. It's 11:25 in the morning here. I was out for a little bit last night. Had a great time. I want to come up because I heard you ask the question, how'd you get into tech and all that good stuff, and there's just not enough black men, black Americans, us in the space, and I think a lot of it is because we don't apply ourselves. And I mean, we apply ourselves in other areas, right? Whether it be athletics or entertainment, but there's really no guarantee you're gonna make some real paper in those areas, right? It is that those areas, those markets are saturated with us. It can happen, but we know that's pretty slim. And I want to tell my story about how I got into tech. Now, like on my channel, I told it, but I'll tell it here. So I didn't go to college, right? I didn't. I didn't finish. I went to a junior college, didn't finish yet. Now still, actually, I have my own company now, but I moved into what's called product management. So I'm gonna give you like that whole trajectory, just so people can learn or understand that you might not go to college, but you can still do it and make a lot of money on that road, right? So 2007, I ended up coming back from Thailand because I was actually here for quite a while. I opened a kickboxing gym in Sacramento, California. That's where I'm from. So I was running that for about 3 years, got tired of it, sold my half, and I was bored. I was just looking for a job. And I applied to a mobile games company in San Francisco, California. Now, being that I didn't have a college degree, I didn't want to. I knew, right? And okay, being that I didn't have a degree, I knew that I had to make. He said fake funk. I just lied and said, yeah, I got a college degree on my resume, right? Because there's a whole bunch of people out there. For some reason, black folks don't understand. You'll be out there dating and lie to a woman, but you're not going to date and lie to somebody else, a business, right? And you're not hurting nobody, right? It's not like you lying to be a doctor or something like that. No, you're just trying to get your foot in the door and learn, once you get there, because that's how it is sometimes. So I lied and said I had the degree. Right. Oh, you did? It was like, all right, cool. So I got a job doing customer service at a company called Kabam. Right. So I guess mobile games company, like free to play strategy games and all that, back on Facebook when, people used to game on Facebook. And all I was doing was answering emails, right? From, oh, hey, I spent this money and I didn't like how this went. And I used all these little consumables, but I didn't win the little battle. Can I get my money back, or can you give me some free stuff? Cool. Basically, it's just giving people what they wanted, right? On the customer service tip. Real easy job. I worked there for about a little over a year, just answering emails, customer service. Now, the job didn't pay much, right? It was paying like $20 an hour, but I went from, teaching Muay Thai kickboxing, now I'm kind of in tech. I'm on the customer service side, but I got my foot in the door. Then I ended up getting laid off, and I was just, I was out on the job market again. So I applied for another company called Wooga. Now, when I applied for this company, I just saw it on a little website, Indeed.com. I sent them my resume, and they hit me up. They're like, "Oh, Tobias, we like your CV or your resume. Let's kick things off with a Skype call." And this is in 2012. When they hit me up and they're like, "Let's chop it up. Let's talk about on a Skype call." I'm like, Skype? No one's doing video interviews on Skype in 2012, right? You typically would have like that preliminary phone call. And that's when I checked the company's website and I found out they were in Berlin, Germany. And this is how I moved to Germany. I got they hit me up. I interviewed, on the phone on video with a German dude, Jan. Then they're like, hey, like you, do you want to come to Germany for the face-to-face interview, or do you want to come to Germany, or do you want to do another Skype interview like this, but it's going to be a little bit longer, probably 3 hours. Man, they flew me to Germany for a face-to-face customer service interview. Swear to God. And I get it right. It was like, hey, do you, what they say, do you want to come here? Well, why do you want to do, or why do you want to come to Berlin for, this interview? I'm like, well, if I'm going to move to Germany, I want to see the team or meet the team, face to face. I want to see the city. I want to just see what the company culture is like. So they flew me to Berlin, interviewed, and then I was like, shit. After I remember, I interviewed on a Friday. I got back late Sunday night. Monday morning, I had a job. Right, I had the job offer. 5 weeks later, I moved to Berlin. Now, for this job, it was called a country manager role, which was just a glorified customer service rep. But this is where the change comes. This is where the pivot comes. Being that I've owned a company, right? And when you found a company, you're thinking about, well, how can I acquire, right, my customer? How can I get them in the doors, right? Or even just create that awareness for them. How can I engage them? How can I make sure that they're having like the best experience possible? How can I retain them, right? How can I keep them coming back? And then how can I make more money off of them? Right, especially if it's a kickboxing gym, you'll pay, or even just any gym. You got your monthly dues that you pay. But, then you got private lessons and all that other stuff. Can I sell you headgear? Can I sell you boxing gloves? All that. So this is kind of, when you think about a founder, that's how you're thinking about things for your business. If you have a brick and mortar presence, but it's also the exact same thing for software product management. And like every week, we would have our all hands meetings where, the CEO Jens, he's giving like the direction of the company, how much money we made the week before. Because again, we're a video game company making money off of Facebook, making money off of iPhone and Android. So okay, this is what we're doing. So it was very transparent. But my manager approached me like 2 months in. He's like, hey, Tobias, all the questions that you've been asking haven't gone unnoticed. And there's some more, there's some people here that want to talk to you, again, about your experience. We went and looked at your CV again, and it said, you ran a kickboxing gym. I'm like, yeah, well, some people want to talk to you about that. Turns out I was walking into another job interview. And they wanted to understand, how I solved problems, like what problems I had, what problems I solved, how I chose, to a solution, right? What I was going to, what problem would we solve? Why would we solve it? What wouldn't we solve? Because every business, right, has a bunch of things that they can solve for, but which ones are the most important that's aligned with the goal that they're trying to achieve, just like our lives, right? There's a whole bunch of things we could be doing, but what's the most important thing that we should be solving for at that time, right, in our lives? So, to these people for about an hour and a half, and then about a week later they get back to me. They was like, hey, you know what, you are actually, we really enjoyed the conversation. You're doing this customer service job, but we think you'd be better suited for a junior product manager role. Now, you don't have the tech skills just yet, but you have the business acumen. And granted, I didn't go to college, although I said I did. And it's about how you communicate. And I think a lot of folks don't see that part. Because if you can sell, right? If you're a salesman, you already have, the people skills, right? You know how to listen, you know how to respond, you know how to you typically find out what people's pain points are problems, and find the best way for them to buy, right? Or you provide them a solution that's going to solve their problem. And again, they're like, you don't have the tech skills just yet, but we can help build you up. You're going to have to take some courses. Cool. So this is how I got into product. And it I went from a $20 an hour job in San Francisco to actually the job I had, the customer service job. Man, I was only making $2,600, right, a month. Hold on, after taxes, I was bringing home probably about $1,900 a month. But in Berlin, the cost of living was cheap. But then once I transitioned into that junior product manager role, it tripled. Right, it tripled immediately. Like, oh, now I'm at like $4,800. Like, whoa, okay. it's going to take some time for me to, there's that learning curve. This is where, we have to seek that knowledge, because each one of you, hey man, I had to learn, I had to study, right? You got to take some tests, whether you're getting certifications or you're just gaining knowledge by listening to podcasts, reading books. We got to seek that knowledge out. So I had to gain the knowledge. Almost got fired, right? Because, there's just that learning curve, but I did it. And from that position, a different company in Sweden reached out to me on LinkedIn called Truecaller, like, hey, we think you'd be a great position or a great fit for this product owner role, which product owner and product manager are similar, but they aren't the same. So I ended up moving to Sweden, right? These cats from, that was probably the craziest job interview I ever had. Some Iranian cats, born and raised in Sweden, about my age. I'm 43. And, I remember during the interview process, the first call with Alan, he was like, we're talking. He's like, hey, you're from California, right? You're American. Yes. This is different, but did you by any chance grow up, listening to 90s hip hop, 90s R&B? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. He was like, hey, let's just kill this interview right now. How about we just, we'll fly you to Sweden, come hang out with us, and just let's see if there's any, let's see if there's any synergy. Next thing you know, I jump on a plane, they fly me to Sweden, pay for my hotel, all that, and I just kick it with these guys for the weekend, right, for the job. Get back to Stockholm, get back to Berlin, and I talked to the HR lady. She was like, hey, this is just kind of like a formality. Alan and Name like you. They just want to give you the job. We know you can do the job. We've already had that, the technical portion of the conversation, and the business part of it. This is what the job pays. Are you interested? And I'm like, yeah, the job was paying about 80,000, the equivalent to 80,000 US. And this is in Sweden. Now, Sweden, they're going to tax you real heavy. But I'm like, you know what? It's just another experience. It's another position for me to grow into, gain some more, just life experience, professional experience, gain some more money. And Truecaller now, they IPO'd me. I mean, they're doing very, very well for themselves, and I was part of their early team. So then from that, go ahead.
I want to say something in regards to tech, guys. Tech, there's so many different avenues you could take in tech. It doesn't have to be technical. It could be on the soft side as well, like project management, automation, process planning. So you don't have to be doing all the programming and development. You could actually do the soft side. And to be honest, you can make more money on the soft side, even on the sales side of tech. I have a friend who does sales in tech. He makes about $500,000 a year. And he showed me his income tax one time. I'm like, whoa, yeah, I do sales. He does tech sales.
Yeah.
He averages about $500,000 a year.
When it comes to tech, right? Because it's words. We all know it's real broad. I would ask, any individual, hey, you know what? Just first, who are they, right? Are they super technical, or are they more of the people person? You like to put things together, that whether it's a project or resources within the project, or are you the builder, the maker? Because some people are the more technical. Some people aren't. I'm not the super technical guy, but I manage the output of software engineers, right? I define what we're going to build, why we're going to build it, how it actually aligns with the business goals, etc. That's what I do. And people, a business will rely on me. They want to trust me to go out and find out what those areas are, because some folks just aren't great at that. That's okay. Some people set vision, right? It's just a founder of a company. Other people can take vision and translate it from, and talk to a customer base or a user and say, hey, you know what? You want to do this, right? That vision. Here are all the things that the people need to help get us to what you think where the future is. Okay. And then figure out, all right. So there's that side of it. But then there's also, like you said, the super tech side where you are writing code, or you are, a cloud engineer. There's the builder, the maker. Then you know what? But there's another side, right? Which is if it's a website, if it's an if it's an app, there's the aesthetic side of it, right? What does the UI or the user interface actually look like, the design side? So there's a few different areas where people can go into, or even the sales. Maybe we built the whole thing and we need to, we want some of the business needs a product, right? Like ours, a SaaS, software as a service. We want to get our product in the eyes or in front of the eyes of other businesses so we can help them solve that issue. Maybe they reached out to us and we need that person, like your friend making 500,000. We need to be able to sell our product. So many ways you can go, and you can a lot of times do it remote.
I want to hit on 3 points or maybe 4 points that you hit. So one, college. You don't have, here's the thing, how I feel about a college. Yes, you don't have to go to college. Here's what college really shows an employee. Because to be honest, you don't learn anything in college. You learn everything.
You really don't.
Yeah. But what college teaches an employee is that you showed up every day, that you were able to meet deadlines, and you were able to accomplish tasks. Because that's what they want to know when they bring you on. I know guys that have could wrap things around me, who could do way better than me, but they never finished anything. They do half and then stop, and that they were never complete. So that's why it's important. Also, like you were saying, you don't need to be technical. There's things like a scrum master, project manager, that you don't have to really know the skills. And think about the aesthetics. And I think a lot of people think IT, there's somebody there, but I remember one of my college projects was, look at an ATM machine. Why is it built like that? Somebody looked at that and said, this is how it needs to be. When you look at your phone or you look at a computer, there's a reason, like if I'm looking at my Windows, there's an X up there. Everything becomes uniform because they say, how is it aesthetically looking? How do you use it? How does the customer interface with it? And do not sleep on customers. I know you said your customer service rep. It is something that I still drill into, because this is what I say. I say, look, I used to be desktop support. And you know what that taught me? That taught me how to take something very complicated and explain it simplistically to people who are not technical. So even in my position now, the technical guys talk all that, and I talk to the business side. Because they like, can you translate that? So I'm like a translator, not of Spanish or nothing, of IT. To say, all right, this is really what he means.
Fearless,
put it in a simple term.
Fearless, can I share something to piggyback what you just said? Mm-hmm. Guys, I'm gonna share a sample what I do. You guys gonna see something that I do for a living. So I'm actually sharing my screen right now. Can you guys see it? All right, this is the process workflow. This is what this is one of many tasks that I do, but I'm really good at the process workflow. Like I can literally envision how a program will work. And what I'll do is I'll build out this workflow explaining all the processing steps, deliverables, and milestones, and how a certain task or project should run. This skill set right here, not too many people could do this. And all this shit is in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I put this on paper and I explain to the engineers, to the project managers, to the software guys, to the content writers that need to write, the web teams, I literally will break out this process and really have a kickoff call with all the key stakeholders and explain this to them. And every place I went to and I do this, they blown away by this. This is this is out of my head. Like some people, I'm very visual. So, I could see something, visualize it, put it in the process workflow, present it, boom. All right, cool. This is how it's going to work. And this is a simple form process that I designed. Then we'll take this from a PDF file and put it into a web dev format. So guys, again, this is still tech, but this is more on the soft side. I'm not doing any coding. I'm not doing any networking, switches, wires, or whatever. I'm not touching none of that. I'm on I'm actually on the soft side of tech. I take all the technical jargons and make it simple for other stakeholders, other cross-function teams to take the assignment and put it together and execute. So this is just a glimpse of what I do. So guys, you could do the same thing. You could do this and make good money and work remotely.
Yo, can I share something also? Because I actually do the same thing, right? It's
Okay.
taking something complex and breaking it down, distilling it into a digestible format for others, because we're all visual, right? When we see it and it makes sense, you're like, okay, now because we can use our words to communicate something, but when we have that visual and we dive into like each component of like say like what you're displaying right now looks like, just hey, the architecture, the flow of something, people just understand, like, okay, this to this to this, right? Just like if you're playing a video game or something, right, and you see the map,
Right.
and okay, level 1 is here, level 2 is here, where you're going. People understand that a lot better. So give me one moment. Let me see if I can bring this up. This thing.
And guys, again, we're dropping some real information here to you guys. And
so
there you go.
Okay. Oh, so can you see my screen real quick?
Yep, we can see it.
Oh, so let's help do-it-yourselfers easily find related products. So I used to work for a company called Build.com, and they're similar to Lowe's or Home Depot, right? And you maybe you want to remodel your bathroom, you want to remodel your kitchen, go to our website or app, find the products you want, put them in your shopping cart like Amazon, and buy them, right? Just that simple. And with this, it was my job, right? Our goal, right? The business outcome, like, hey, we want to increase sales, right? For our bathroom products, right? For homeowners, or we call them do-it-yourselfers. And there's always going to be a metric or, a tangible goal tied to it. Well, hey, we want to go increase it by 10%. Like, okay, well, let's just this super simple slide deck. Again, these are soft skills, but it helps to communicate what you want to do, why you want to do it, and all that, or even the results of what you've done. So I'm like, hey, this is kind of what we knew right now, since I owned, right? It was my job to own the shopping cart and the checkout. So that means from the time somebody, you're on Amazon, you click that add to cart button, as soon as someone click that add to cart button, that's my realm. Because a lot of people they'll add something to a shopping cart, but then they won't check out, they just kind of leave it there, right? And that's called, if they just leave it there and they don't actually purchase it, that's called an abandoned shopping cart. So what I knew back then, right, was like, okay, well, 67%, right, of our carts, right, which is like one item. So someone just add one product to the shopping cart for some strange reason, even though we got thousands of products for bathroom, or thousands of bathroom products that could be purchased, right? The average order value, or AOV, right, was actually down from the prior year. And then, after speaking to like our customers, right, or do-it-yourselfers, the homeowners, they were like, hey, you know what, we really couldn't find related products. So, if you have a bathroom, you're remodeling it, and you're like, most people, I'll get into it here in a minute. So, but again, like before I move deeper into it, you have different customer segments, right? So you have the family. I could put it in slideshow mode, that'd be easier. So you'll see exactly like the okay. So here, right, this guy is not the do-it-yourselfer, right? This guy is like the pro, the contractor, right? This person typically has a business, and he's out. That's the person I'm gonna call when I need my house worked on. But then you got these folks, right? The actual family, and again, the do-it-yourselfers. This is the customer segment that we're talking about now. Again, what do we? I'm not going to give the full presentation, but pretty simple. What do we know about that person or this family, these people? Homeowners, they were married. I would go through all of this information just to present it, just like you were doing. Like, hey, everybody on the team, this is the process. This is the flow. This is what I see right now. This is what how things are going to work. The way you communicate that, I would tell the story about who the actual customer is. So an engineer, a designer, somebody, the sales team probably already knows, or maybe it's leadership. How do we gain all of this information? Again, you can't sleep on the customer. You got to talk to them. And then, what's their journey, right? Yeah. What are they actually looking for? So, hey, they want to, make their new space look nice, because maybe they get this feeling right there. They get like a little punk outhouse, but they really looking for something like this, right? This is the kind of stories that I would tell in, in a meeting with, hey, this is what we should be doing. This is where I see us going. They envision a nice bathroom, open spaces, his and hers, sinks and all that good stuff. But then they're like, well, they need a journey, right? They're like, okay, once they made the decision to buy, right? Like, how do they find us? But I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but this is kind of what I do, just telling the story to get people to wrap their heads around. This is the problem. This is what we're trying to do, and if provide them with, the best experience, we provide them with things, or if we provide them with products like that help that they can find easily, they'll probably add more products to their shopping cart. We ended up building what's called a May We Suggest service. We've all seen this thing. You go to Amazon or Target.com or something, and it'll tell you, oh, hey, you added, these sneakers or these towels to your account. Well, you might also like, and it suggests products that are complementary to what you just added to your shopping cart. That's what my team and I,
I will say this, guys, you do understand we're having a educated lane session right now. We're all like tech educated lanes that enjoy what we do, and we make good money. Guys, again, tech doesn't have to be all technical. And again, you got a man like Fearless who just recently bought $100,000 vehicle. You have Passport Blueprint who just recently got into tech. You have Tobias the Traveler who just recently relocated to Thailand. And you have me, and again, and we're all in tech, but different areas in tech. So you could do the same thing, but again, you just got to be fully committed into doing the job and getting things done. So I wanted to go back to this comment this person made. This person just came out of nowhere and made this comment, and I want you guys to talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Comment by Sunny. Where is she? There she is, right here. What are your thoughts of her comment about this, man? Because that really threw me off a little bit.
Selfish, even when he's with other races. Black men are selfish. I don't think so. I think we are the most giving. When we meet someone who gives to us, we sacrifice and give everything. No other race demands. If we're the most selfish, what other race of women demands that we take them on $150 date, a $200 date, that we got to pay them before we go out? The Cheesecake Factory isn't good enough. How are we selfish? We have to live up to standards that no other race can live up to. And if our standards are so, if we're so selfish, why is it so difficult for you Black women to date outside of our race? It should be easy. If you're the cream of the crop, you should be able to go and be a passport sis and get anybody. But that doesn't happen. So it's not us. It has to be you, because we can go anywhere. We're admired. Black men are wanted by all races, white, Asian, Latino. We become the cream of the crop. We're what they want to strive for. Black women don't do that. You guys have got the lowest marriage rate that there are. So it's not about whining. We're saying that when we strive and do something better, that you don't support us. You don't build with us. You just want the reward at the finish line. So it's not about being whiny. We're at the point where we don't want to whine anymore. We've just moved on. We've just replaced you. We've just found something that's better.
Damn.
I know. Look, Bernard don't want to say what I'm saying. But no, you did this. You may not say it, but you just did the same thing. You moved on. You got you someone from another country that you bring in here.
Oh man, shit.
And to piggyback off that, before you start calling men whiny, you better refer back to Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, Oprah, and all the times y'all were on there whining about us. Okay? So let's not even use that terminology. Okay? You didn't want us. That's fine. We went overseas. Guess what y'all doing? You're following us. So where's the whining
When a
on
man,
that?
you know what, when a black man, right, is mentally, physically, emotionally, and financially fit, and you had to build this yourself, that you come from that, because like with my family, right, I'm getting ridiculed as a child and all that shit, like, oh, Tobias, you ain't black, you stiff, you can't dance, all that old bullshit. And since I was a little boy, right, I remember like the first girl I liked, I was 6 years old, little blonde hair, blue eye, white girl, and I like bunnies. That's what I do. And there, a lot of brothers out there, they like, they like black women, cool, but many black women, you meet that guy who is his trajectory is towards greatness, and it's not recognized, it's not respected, it's not honored. Where if you look at like ethnicities, they will see, oh, hey, guess what, that man is going someplace. You might want to go ahead and keep him. You might want to make that happen with him, because he, in 10 years, 15 years, when he's 37, he is going to be the cream of the crop, and you can have him. You could, right, it's going to be some challenges along the way, but most black women, don't do that. Even like talking with some of my family, right, they're like, oh, I want the guy who's already made. I'm like, okay, you want him, but there's, his value is going to be sky high. This, he's going to have his standards. And if you don't meet him, why would he want you? Like, man, it's like 1989, right? I'm 43, going to be 44 next month. I remember and just a bit more information about my family. I'm the oldest grandson on my mother's side of the family. The first 9 grandchildren were girls. So I remember my older girl cousins, it was like, hey, talking to like my sisters and other family members. Oh, when you get older, get you a baller, get you a basketball player, get you a lawyer. But as a little boy, I'm like, why would that man, right, want you? And then when you get older, you're like, you learn a bit more. And like, if you hear that now, what can you offer, man? Right? What if once we get to where we're supposed to be, what can that woman offer this man that is of value? I mean, you know what though? I've learned that a good woman, she don't tell you what she bring to the table. She just shows you. She's gonna make your life easier. If a woman ain't making my life easier, why do we need her? And this is not whining. This is just communicating the truth. Some folks don't like that. Right? Oh, they gripe and whine and they moan about black women. You know what? Because a lot of y'all do that, right? We know this.
I whine and gripe about them all the time. Because here's the thing. She says, I never hear other men gripe. You can be Jose Sanchez outside of Home Depot and your wife still treats you like a king, cooks for you, does all of that. You can be Bruce Lee working in the Chinese restaurant night and day. And you know who there with you? Your girl. She helping build with you. So they don't have to gripe. Why gripe when your girl is right there supporting you? We don't have that.
True.
When you got a brother who's trying to get it out the mud, we doing it by ourselves. We don't have that support system. No one is there to help us out. So we gripe because when we finally get it, when we gripe when we doing it to say, hey, where you at, baby? I need you. This is where I need you the most. You're not there. We gripe when we get older because now you're trying to come at us. You're trying to want us. And then you get mad when we don't want you. Sellouts, passport bros. You got to go overseas and get a cheap lady. That if I was a woman and a guy told me, man, I'm going overseas to get a woman who don't even speak English over you, what kind of sense does that make? That's like me being a woman saying, I'd rather, have the poorest guy in the world and he ugly and fat than you. That shows that I must not be what I think I am. If a guy is willing to leave the country to go somewhere else where it's a different culture, different language, different everything, because he can't deal with you, it's not him that's the problem. It's you that's the problem. And we do whine and gripe because you don't give us. Any other culture does not treat their men the way you treat us. No other you don't hear them putting down their black men or their other men. No other culture does that. But black women, they put us down. all the time.
You know,
We just
you know,
gotta wake up.
you know what's funny is how they easily want to put down other races of women outside the U.S. down, like, you know, dirt feet, they like all type of names. Like wow, you say that as a black person, you think you understand based on a lot of the harsh treatment that we got in this country, that you want to be quick to throw criticism towards someone that you don't even know across the world based on what's your perception of them. And it's just kind of funny how, like, yeah, you're going overseas to date, you know, uneducated, you know, barefoot, walking in the dirt, like all this negative words. I'm like, bitch, do you even know there's doctors and lawyers and engineers in these countries? They're like, a lot of these countries have better infrastructure than the US. But yet, at the same time, it's like they don't talk about their issues about them living in the projects, Section 8, all these negative things that that affect them, but yet they want to quick to throw another group of women underneath the bus just to make them feel better. And it's just kind of sad. And like, I mean, honestly, I know I probably get a little backlash because, I've dated, I'm marrying a woman from another country. But listen, I married an American woman. We were together for 10 years. We got two beautiful sons together. Things didn't work out. I decided to explore other options. And do I regret it? No, I don't. It's just like, hey, I'm gonna live my best life. I could give one flying fuck what someone think. And I know anyone won't be that stupid to come to me and tell me that dumb shit in front of my face.
And one thing she says,
they're happy. Hey, people.
When she says, even when he's with other races, I'm just thinking about this. Tobias, I mean, I don't see brothers over in Thailand saying, I hate these Thai chicks. I'm over in Thailand, I just hate them. Or a brother in Colombia, like, I really don't like these Latina girls. We don't complain about other races because we are welcomed with other races. I don't know what she's saying. We're selfish even when it comes to that. We're probably,
to be honest, Fearless, our best and brightest are accepted. Yeah. They want our best and brightest. In our community, our best and brightest are not celebrated.
Correct.
Unless you play sport,
we celebrate.
You're a rapper.
Yeah. I was just about to say that if you're not some form of entertainer, right? Because that's what an athlete is. You're an entertainer, right? Whether you're dribbling a basketball across a football field, or even swinging a tennis racket, you are an entertainer. Or you rap, you sing. Okay, cool. Or you play the piano or something. That's what Black culture actually celebrates and promotes, or Black American culture promotes heavily, versus the individual who took the time to, whether you're self-taught or you're university educated, that isn't promoted. Like, this individual did it, or even maybe you're not. You started your own plumbing business. It does not matter. That's still getting it out the mud. But for some reason, it's not respected because it doesn't fit the Black narrative. Nah, I'm like, F all that. Once you become that person, the thing, the tables turn, the tides, they flip. And then we already know that, the women want you, but then it's like, hey, you didn't want me back then. And when you question them on that, they typically don't answer it. Oh, well, or if they do want you, it's like, you still might be boring. And they still gonna go mess with homeboy on the side or something like that. Me, I don't even deal with women like that. I tell people, like, even being abroad, right? First off, I don't even mess with Thai chicks, but even in the States, I've never had a problem with dating, but I do have a bunch of people, a bunch of close, friends that, yo, man, the sisters out here, love them. They, it's not going too well for me. And I'm like, okay, I understand it. And they are in great positions, right? They have good lives. And they now, feel that they got to step out and explore their options, whether it be, with a white woman or a Latina or somebody else. But they're like, man, it's just, it is difficult for them. And I go, well, what you gonna do? There's a lot out there. There's a big wide world for you to see. You're in a great position. And then, again, a lot of Black women don't like that. But you know what? Something I've learned, their happiness is at stake, right? Because, you take brothers who got it together and, Kevin Samuels, how much money you want this man to make? Or let's look at just the top 10% of black men in America. The top 10% make, last I looked, it was like 105,000 annually, right? Or more, top 10. But there's 7 points. That's a dude. Yeah, 105. We know that's not a lot of money. Well, some may construe it as, they think a lot of money, but it's really not. Now, that's the top 10%. There's 7.7 million black men from 18 to 65, right? So 10%, that's 770,000 black men making that kind of money. But hold up, right? 770,000 black men from 18 to 64. If you take out the gay black men and you take out the men, the brothers who are already married, that number gonna dwindle really, really fast, right? So it's gonna be less than 500,000 black men that hit that 100K mark. That means simple economics. When the supply is low, the demand is high. I was talk to my niece about this. I was sharing her with her so she could, even like, and one of my female cousins, I'm like, look, if there's only 500,000 black men that are making this kind of money, and especially as a black woman, if you already make that kind of money, you looking for that brother who make more than you, that number is small. Why would he want you? His standards are going to be super high. Where do you fit into that? And these are numbers you can't, right? You can't refute. Our value skyrockets. So we have options and we just go exercise them. And that's just within the states. If you want to leave or visit outside and see what else is available. So, it compounds. So when I explained it to her, I'm telling her this from a place of love, right? But when she heard and she actually, I just wrote it all out for her. We were face to face. This was a number of months ago. And she's like, damn, bias. That's what my family calls me, bias. Damn, bias. I didn't never think about it like that. I go, then you want to talk about, you want to do that to be 6 feet or 6'2", 6'3", right? And he got to have all these other physical attributes. That the number going to shrink even more. Why would that man, right, want you? What does he want? Right? And they're like, it hits them hard, right? Like, fuck, I didn't think about it like that. You should.
I have a question for Tobias. I mean, for
Fearless. Yes,
sir. No, this question for Fearless. What are your thoughts when women say that they want men that 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 inches, 6 abs, 6-pack abs? What are your thoughts on that? This whole list of criteria to meet as a potential mate.
The reason I'm able to get a 6-figure job is because I qualified for it. If I did not qualify, I can say I can want whatever I want. When people say I'm worth $1 million, and I say, well, does your paycheck reflect that? No. Well, you're not worth $1 million. You're worth what you're getting paid. So they can say what they want.
Yeah.
A lot of them say all that, but they're not worth that. And so they have these stipulations. And I think Kevin Samuels said it best. He said, if you ask a woman what she wants from a man, she will write the Bible. When you ask her what she gives, you can fit it on a postage stamp.
Oh, shit.
So a lot of them, they say all of that. They don't qualify for that. I don't care about the standards. Have it all you want. Because all that does is it just you'll see how lonely you are. You'll see how lonely you are.
Yeah. But guys, it's been over an hour. It's been over an hour and a half, and I want to close it out. So what we're gonna do a round table, give you guys the final thoughts about the educated lane being the last option for today women or today black women. What are your thoughts, your final thoughts, and let's close it out. So let's start with Passport Blueprint, man. What's your thought about the educated lane and so forth?
If the educated lane is your last option, you failed. You failed, because that should have been your first option. And I'm proud to be an educated lane. It's going to give us more options. And, you know, I'm going to be hitting up Fearless on the email because I'm going to ask some more tech questions. We've been in the field, some great guidance and stuff that we just threw out here. Ain't no shame in being that, because even if you're going overseas or not, you know, the whole thing is we are rising up and building better Black men for the future, if anything. And that's what we need to start pushing in our community. And right now, tech is a good thing. And, you know, we need to be pushing that and, you know, getting our men better educated and finding, you know, success in this growing environment, because technology is taking over and we need to be better educated and better equipped to deal with this new technological world, especially with AI coming into the whole thing. So, you know, they want to call us lame. They can stay behind and be with Pookie and Ray Ray, but as soon as they have that first child, they're on their own. Because I'm not dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray's problems. That's their problem. They're going to deal with it. That's how I feel.
All right. Tobias?
Okay, so when it comes to, you know, if a woman's last option is the man who's seeking knowledge, whether, like, again, because I don't, you know, educated, or, you know, you gained your knowledge, you know, through self-education. So, okay, if that's her last choice, again, you know, she has failed. Honestly, she has, because that man can ultimately provide it is a lifestyle that when he gets there, that man's going to be able to provide the lifestyle that she ultimately wants. And if she wants, again, she wants to try to bring another man's children into the picture for this man, for the good guy to take care of, no, that's wrong. I'm just not going. We can't accept that. That's unacceptable. White men ain't doing it. Asian men ain't doing it. Indian men ain't doing it. Well, it's so why should we accept another man's seed, right? If you know that man is available, he's got the trajectory, and they know you on the right path. But you're gonna get that man when he's on, when he's trying to build. You messing up. Nah, that's a failure. So he's going to fail to accept you when he's on top, right? He's not going to be you out the window. It's what it is.
All right, I'll go next, and I'll have Fearless close it out. I am a self-proclaimed educated lame. I'm proud of it. Being a educated lame have brought me a lot of great opportunities, made a lot of great people, traveled the world, and done amazing things. So for all of my future educated lames out there, continue to work on yourself, continue to become a better version of yourself. Go to the gym, learn a new skill set. Don't let women be your top priority and why you living your best life. And never chase. Never, ever chase. Again, you are the prize, is what it is. As much as I didn't want to say it, but the more I see the value that we bring into our community as being educated lames and being the future leaders, is what it is. We are the prize, because we're the one that's bringing, making your life stable and protecting you and providing you as a man should. And we should be honored for that. We should be praised for that. So with that being said, again, continue to focus on you, educated man. Get your passport, go out there, travel the world, live your best life, and continue to make this money. Dude, there's money to be made out here. We're making money out here. People, we making money out here, man. It's like ain't that $50,000-$75,000 a year. Like, we're talking about 200Ks, 300Ks. We're making good money out here, man. And you want to join this educated lane bandwagon and make this money, get your passport, and live your best life. Yeah, let's close it out.
I'm about to go into nerd mode, fellas. So let me tell you, if she chasing you for your salary, then you make sure you vet her personality. If she looking at your portfolio, make sure she ain't no street hoe. If you the person she wants to be with so she can retire, is she the type of woman that will inspire? Chris Rock said it. You never get money by chasing girls, but you sure get girls by chasing money. So here's the thing, brothers. Strive, Be called a lame. Be called a nerd. And when you get to that success, don't let them judge you. Don't care if they don't like you. Strive and be better. We as Black men need to change the way we think, change our community.
Yes. Yes.
We got to be better. If we continue to put each other down for educating ourselves, we'll all be crazy. And the next lanes that they're going to chase ain't going to be Black. They're going to be Asian, Indian, and white. So
Amen.
Get it up.
Amen.
And one more thing, man. Let me tell you. I just want you guys to imagine somebody who's making $35,000 a year. Imagine how your life could change if you're making $175,000 a year and the benefits that come with it. One thing I'm gonna correct you on, the Kanawha, is I didn't buy that car. I work for the company. I get the best there is, baby.
Yeah. You did say
That's
that.
the benefit of when you do something. I get the benefits of it. They pay for my insurance, everything.
That's true. That's true.
We don't understand, man. The perks that we get, use them, brothers. We are here. Please, Kanawha, please put your email in the chat. I put my email in the chat. If y'all need us, we here. But here's what I'm gonna say to you, Kanawha, and I'm gonna say this myself. It ain't free. I'm charging consultation charges. You know why? Because my time is valuable. And I've wasted too many times trying to help too many brothers who just wasted my time. So now, you know, what they say, the story is sold and not told. That's right. We're going to sell it now. Y'all want it? If you can pay some money to go somewhere else, you can give us a few dollars to take care of that. And I only do that because I found that if you invest your money, it's going to be much more, you're going to take it much more seriously than some free advice.
True.
If you want free advice, watch this podcast over.
And guys, what we talked about today is just a scratch of the surface. Like, I could really drill down and really put you in a position where you can make that money if you're willing to take the time to learn. Because again, it doesn't take long. Because trust me, these Asians and Indians, they're making that money when you should be making that money.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? You want to work hard and play around. And I learned a long time ago from my mentor, work smart, not hard. So, hey, I could be overseas making money, working remotely, making 85 to 150 an hour. Easy. And still go out there and enjoy myself. You could actually do the same thing, guys. You could, and again, make sure to reach out to Fearless or myself if you have any questions, any travel trips. I'm actually heading to Mexico City in a couple of weeks. I'm spending 4 days out there. It's going to be a super trip out there. Again, guys, just invest in yourself, man. Because trust me, these other races of men, they are investing in themselves and they're putting themselves in a position to win. We need to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So with that being said, thank you so much. It's been an awesome podcast. And again, this show is not meant to, bash any particular race of women or race of men. We just want to talk the truth and understand that, educated lames, we do have a platform, and we are the prize, and you should be treated as such.
Nerds rule the world.
Yeah, the nerds rule the world, really. Yeah, that's true. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching the show, man. Again, we'll be back next week, and we'll go from there. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you guys for having me.
Likewise.